Welcome to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tift and myself. Special Saturday show. We're supposed to go on at 3 o'clock. Matt will blame me. It's my fault. I just had too much stuff going on. Then I get a text message from the boss. We're going to get better at times. How about days, Matt? How about we stick with better days?
That's fair, too. I don't know. You may hear some background fan noise. I'm shooting this from my hotel room today, so it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this works out. I'm literally putting my laptop on an iron board to make sure that you can see me right now. And I brought the green screen from home.
Out. Well, but in all seriousness,
if you know how the show goes, I have a lot of problems with green screens, so no promises here today.
Oh, that's exciting. No, but in all seriousness, we were talking about days, and the reason we are doing this on a different day is because you have a lot going on with what's going on currently with the NASCAR side and how you're handling everything. Real quick before we get into like Super Bowl topics and things like that, how's it going? How's it going down there? What are you doing down there? And I mean, I'm pumped up for you. I saw you in Forbes, man. That was sick.
I know. That was cool. Yeah, we're down here in Daytona Beach for the Daytona 500. So we've been here all week, had Daytona 500 qualifying. The Jules was kind of like a preliminary race to set the start up for Sunday. So we got in a little wreck there, but I actually think some things we learned from it is actually going to save us on Sunday that we kind of ran through. So
sure.
Actually some good things we've learned from that. And we learned we actually have a really good car that's it sucks up in the draft, which means sometimes you can't break the bubble to get close to a car,
right.
But ours is doing that. So we got some ponies under the hood and our Mustang there, so forward plugs. So thank you, Roush Yates Engines, for the big horsepower. And
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, it's been cool. Like you said, I got in Forbes magazine this week. We announced a partnership with Celsius Energy Drink. It's the official energy drink for Live Fast Motorsports. And beyond that, we mentioned on Twitter before the show, but we have NASCAR Heat 5, the flagship game for NASCAR on Xbox and PlayStation, with Motorsport Games, the developer. And it's free play weekend, so make sure you go download the game on the Xbox Marketplace. But above that, we have some giveaway codes on this show right here. So make sure you comment, ask questions, be interactive and engaging with us, because through the show, we're going to give away a couple of those free codes that you can use forever on there and race as our car, the number 78 car in there. But it's the Great American Race, the Super Bowl of NASCAR tomorrow, the Daytona 500. So first time as a car owner. It's been a whirlwind of work and emotions from, last fall to now. And we're going off for qualifying, and I'm standing out there pushing the car. And then, they pull up to the official, and that's where they take off to go qualifying. And as a driver, you have a lot of it, nervous energy and all that kind of stuff. But as an owner, I'm sitting there with the same thing. But it's nice as a driver, because you turn the motor on, you take off, and you're focused. But as an owner, you're like pacing, going up and down pit road, and it's totally, new for me. So that was it was pretty cool. At the same time, it's like, wow, I didn't realize how much it was going to be, so caring for a car. But it's like, that's my baby out there. That's going to be, my next 20, 30 years, and it all starts here this weekend.
Which is awesome. So
very much so.
You do have some people up in the chat. You got Peter back in the chat. He's been in here. Just to let you know, Peter has been in this chat probably
Thank you, Peter.
From the beginning of the show. I don't think he's ever. I mean, he's tuned into every single show.
We'll get Paul and Mary involved.
And Lisa Holt Johnson says she's so proud of you.
Well, thank you. I love you. Hope you're doing good back at home.
Oh, there you go. Oh, so you know her. I like it.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my mother-in-law.
Oh, that's your mother-in-law. Very cool.
It is.
Well, I'm glad she's tuning in.
That's right. Yeah.
So you have a ton of big things going on out there in Daytona, which is cool. And you've been able to kind of share things with me on the back end a little bit, so I get to see like as it grows, and I'm watching it. I'm like, dude, I'm proud of you too, man. It's fun. It's fun to watch this happen. And I think, like I was watching, I saw your BJ's little announcement, that thing. I saw you guys out there by the car, and it's kind of surreal for me to say, like, this is the Super Bowl of Daytona, and I know somebody who's actually participating in it, which is cool. For me to say on the back end, which is cool for a lot of the fans who do interact and do say and do have the chat in here. It's super awesome. Addicted to Racing says, love to see your car out on the track, Matt. Got a question. Is there a story behind the number 78?
There is, actually.
I like stories.
Yeah, no, stories are good. Story time. Here we go. So the number 78, the last time it was run in the NASCAR Cup Series was with Martin Truex Jr. And it actually won the championship, and then it was put to bed. It was not brought back. So we brought it back to life. And the reason was because BJ, he's been racing since he was 2.5 years old, driving four-wheelers since he was 2.5. And 78 was always his number. Growing up, winning championships and all the karting stuff he did, all the late model stuff, drove in the trucks with it. Even drove his first cup car, not his first team-owned cup car last year. So 78 has always been his number, always has been, always will be. But the cool part about it was, the last time this was run, it won the NASCAR Cup Series championship. Like, you don't get any better than that. And, we felt like it was important for us to go to Barney Visser, the previous owner of the team in NASCAR, to make sure that it was okay for us to run that number. So BJ reached out to them and said, hey, is this okay with you guys? And they're, their team's not around anymore. There's a family-run team that got to that point. So they were gracious enough to let us use the number 78 number, and bringing it back is pretty cool. It's something they were a small team, a single car team that brought it from basically where we're starting now, and was over time was able to turn it into a NASCAR championship winning and caliber team. And that's what we want to do over the next, several years. That's the same goal we have. So hopefully the 78 has a second run at becoming a NASCAR champion.
Well, that is an awesome story. So that's kind of cool. So these codes, when are we giving away these codes?
Well, I think what we should do is you pick them out, Keith, because I can't see the chat. So you call out, we'll call it a winner now, maybe in the middle of the show, and then at the end, and we'll DM you guys. They are Xbox codes, so we'll make sure you guys have an Xbox in there. But yeah, we'll hook you guys up. So Keith will pick a couple winners, and we'll message or DM you after the show, and we'll get that sorted out. But yeah, it's awesome. It's really fun. I got to meet with the Motorsport Games guys yesterday for lunch, and the game they have now is awesome, but the stuff they're doing with their new game they've been working, developing on, I can't tell you many things about it, but what I will tell you is I grew up and got my interest in NASCAR because of playing racing video games.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, the stuff they're going to be coming out with in the next few years is incredible. I think it's going to be something we all love. It's a very social game. It brings back that aspect of all the things we used to love in NASCAR video games and kind of combining and want to keep on growing with it. And I think it's going to be really, really cool to see what they come up with.
That's awesome. I mean, it's cool to be, I'm not directly a part of it, but it's cool to be in this little know-how and group and seeing how you've grown. All right, so we got some questions. You wanted the chat popping. The chat got popping.
All right, I like it.
Rollins says, good luck to you and your team tomorrow. They'll be rooting for your team from Mentor, Ohio. So that's cool, man.
All right.
Got that Ohio reach. And
Absolutely.
Brian Rowe just wanted to say, hey. And then he had a question. I think we addressed this, though, a couple shows ago, but we're going to address it again just for the heck of it. Any pre-race superstitions?
I don't have any.
No?
I don't have any now. But what I used to do was we were sponsored by the Cleveland Indians a few years ago in 2018. And, we had to bring out Joe Boo. So they hooked us up with Joe Boo from Major League, and we would rub. So I get all my seatbelts on, get everything in, and I go and rub Joe Boo's head. So that's not BJ's superstition. He's not the driver. So Joe Boo's hanging out at home on the mantle. But we'll be thinking of Joe Boo coming tomorrow.
That's awesome. So tomorrow is the big race. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not going to talk to you at all, because I'm a superstitious person, too. So for the first time, I just want to say this. For the first time in my entire life, I want you to really understand what I'm saying, Matt. For the first time in my entire life, I am going to be watching the Daytona 500 from start to finish.
I like it. I like it. Let's go.
But I have to. I have to watch it. But I can't talk to you during it because, how there's baseball gods, there's football gods, there's basketball gods, and now because I'm a fan, there's race car gods, and I can't disturb them, man. So I'm not going to be able to text you or anything during this.
Keith, I got to ask you, have you watched any NASCAR race from the full entirety of it?
No, honestly, no. I've seen highlights. I watch highlights.
Okay.
I'm not the kind of person who changes the channel when it comes on ESPN, like the highlights, but I've never been that type of person to sit down and watch a whole game, a whole race.
Right.
But now, after talking with you and kind of, seeing what really goes into it, I'm invested, man. You got me invested,
right. Yeah.
And I've already had a hard time with football and basketball, but so maybe NASCAR is taking my Maybe that's going to be my new, it's just going to go baseball, NASCAR, football.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, for everybody tomorrow that wants to tune in, it's 2:30 on Fox. The pre-race show, don't miss it. They got the Thunderbirds flying over. It's one of the most surreal moments in sports. Like, it gives you goosebumps watching it, being there. Like, it's unbelievable, honestly. It's like the Super Bowl pre-race, but pre-game, but honestly better with the flyover. It's one of the most breathtaking moments that you can have in sports. So it's something that you don't want to miss. The racing this week, I can tell you, has been pretty dicey in the preliminary races. I think we're going to see a lot of action, a lot of crashes, which hopefully our plan is to kind of make sure we stay out of those wrecks to be there at the end. So not saying we're going to not, make a push, but we're going to make sure the car's in good position to be there, towards the end. But we're excited because we have a really good car that's capable of winning this race. And, it's about survival and just being there.
I like it. So you got Twitter is getting active today. Usually they all come from
Thank you, Twitter.
Now you're getting some Twitter stuff. At Steven Byers says, are we going to be lucky enough to see a Cleveland Browns car on the track soon?
So I believe NASCAR has a policy. You can't actually put the Browns name on there from another league, or maybe it's the NFL's rule. But there certainly could be a color coded card to it. Of course, it's not NFL season now. So we'll revisit that in the fall and see what happens.
So I got a question real quick before we go on break. So we're gonna be giving out these codes, but here's what I want to do for everybody who's listening and wants codes. Even if you don't want codes, I want you to do this. Share this tweet, share the live stream, the whatever, to as many pages as you possibly can, because we also have a Teespring going up. We finally have our merch store going up, and it took a while.
Yes,
because
merch.
We wanted to make sure we did it the right way. We want to, we don't want to give a crap product. Obviously, you guys are repping Life in the Fast Lane. You're repping me and Matt. You're repping basically the lifestyle. So the Teespring store, our merch store, is going to be pasted in the comments. But go over there, and Tyler will put it down on the ticker where we have not an OnlyFans, and our Facebook.com is on there, and Team Live Fast and all that stuff. It's going to be posted down there. Go over there, buy some merch, get some stuff for us, support the show, and just rep us, because as we grow, you guys are going to grow. And we're you just heard Matt, he wants to be super fan related. So here we go. If you guys can share it as much as possible, we are going to pick a winner for the for one of the codes.
Let's do it right now. Come on, Keith. Give him a winner. Let's get a winner.
Name?
Do it.
I'm going to go with Peter DeLutis.
Hey, Peter's been a loyal one. I like it.
He has been. Peter's been the man. So we'll pick one right.
Thank you,
so
Peter.
We got one right now. Peter DeLutis. I'll message you or Matt will message you, and we'll give you the code so that way you can have it. Steve says you're a local hero. He said, "Good luck from Wadsworth. It's where your rig is parked."
Nice. No, it's been really cool this week, actually. I think I've had more Cleveland media than I ever had, even as a driver, being interested in our team and our story. So I feel like I've been on every Cleveland station and news channel this week, which has been so cool because, we kind of have the mentality of being a small team where we're not expected to do well. There's other, we got Michael Jordan and Pitbull coming into the sport. And then there's us. We're trying to build this deal, but it's kind of that Cleveland against the world mentality we have because it's not something we should have gotten. We shouldn't have gotten the chart. We're such small fish in this deal, but we got it. We're in this for the long haul. We're in this to go win championships eventually. This year is going to be a learning year, but we're building something here. So thank you to everyone from my home in Northeast Ohio. It's been so cool, and I just appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. And it's going to be a lot of grinding out some work here, but I promise you guys, years to come down the road, it's going to be very exciting. So you guys get the first race with me here at the Daytona 500 as our debut. It's awesome.
That is awesome. And you know what? Being involved in this, in the podcast and everything like that, I can't. It's amazing to kind of see all the support that we get just for the podcast. You know what I mean? So take the support you get from the race team and the support you had throughout your career, now put it on the podcast, and it's even crazier. Just to watch what's happened and watch it grow and everything like that. So go to the Teespring, check us out there. Check out our Patreon. Tyler's been yelling at me for the past 2 weeks that I need to get some stuff up there, and we will. David Morgan, real quick in the chat before we go to break, just wants to say good luck tomorrow. Oh, here's John Walters. He wants to pop in and say good luck. You wanted the chat going, man. You got the chat on
We
fire
got it.
today.
Hey, I love it. Thank you, guys.
So, guys, please go check out the Teespring. Please share this everywhere, on everything, every place, anything. Just share it, share it, share it, share it. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to jump into some Super Bowl topics. I got some movie things I want to talk about, too.
Okay, like it.
Something interesting happened over the week that I didn't have a chance to talk about. So we're going to bring that to the forefront.
And hey, before I forget, though, Keith, when we come back, because you don't know this either, I want to talk about the beginning of the popularity and rise of NASCAR, the 1979 Daytona 500. I want to get into that story before you get the other stuff. It's really cool.
Perfect. See, look at that. He's already got it. All right, we'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Share. Check out Teespring.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Life in the Fast Lane show. What a better day to talk about life in the fast lane than the Daytona 500 tomorrow. But we're going to take a step back in history here for a second. We're going to talk about the I think they call it the Great Storm, or it's the Perfect Storm, the 1979 Daytona 500. And Keith, you don't know the story yet, so this is a very important piece of NASCAR history.
Hold on, before you start. I want to make sure we get everybody in the chat because they're trying like hell. Crystal Jason Milliken says hi there. Then she said OHIO, but I feel she should have only put OH so we could.
IO. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But then real quick, she says, anyone watching I don't even know what this is, the ARCA race. It's probably.
Oh, ARCA. Yeah. So the ARCA is one of the series that you race in to kind of get your rounds going to become in the the NASCAR National Series. Okay. So I used to race in ARCA for a long time, but I think they got just a few laps to go here. So first race of Speed Weeks for those guys. So that should be a good finish. But stay here. This show's better.
I like it. All right, go on. Let's hear this story.
All right. So the Perfect Storm, the 1979 Daytona 500. So in the country on that day, there was a huge, huge snowstorm. And this was the first mega deal that NASCAR had with any national TV station. So they had just signed the CBS. And so across the nation, it was a huge, huge snowstorm. So everybody is snowed in. It is a big, big race, big day for NASCAR. First time ever that they had onboard cameras, so you could see what it looks like inside the car, where they're looking, where they're going. Like just the first time it's been like truly the full immersion of NASCAR. So coming down to the last lap, Cale Yarborough, and I believe it was, let me check. Yes. So Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison, two of the sport's biggest figures, NASCAR Hall of Famers, they collide coming to the checkered flag in turn 3. They slide down the banking. Richard Petty, the king, goes on to win the race, one of his 200 victories. Of course, that's the guy in the famous cowboy hat you'll see around. So the two of them slide down to the bottom. They get out. It's on national TV. The two of each other get out, and they beat the crap out of each other. They got teams. They got fire. They got the ambulance. They got everybody in there, and they're beating the crap out of each other. Again, the first time on national television across the country. People fell in love with NASCAR from this race. We would not be here today without the 1979 Daytona 500, probably the single most important event in NASCAR history. Without that event in the sands of Daytona, right across from where NASCAR was born, that race right there propelled NASCAR into the mainstream, got it to the 80s and 90s, the golden era of NASCAR, and then, of course, into the 2000s, the giant rise of it when it's just behind the NFL, continuing on to today. That race is a piece of Daytona 500 history that will never, ever be forgotten. And every year there's a chance to rewrite history. And that's one of the coolest things about Daytona. You know, we come down here as a new team. This is a historic moment for us, being the youngest owner in NASCAR, one of the most unorthodox owners in NASCAR with BJ, my partner, in there. It is this is such a special place. Every time you come here, flying in, looking at the track, it's just it's like going to Lambeau Field. It's the history. It's Wrigley Field, and that sort of a deal. It's the history. It's the culture. It is the pinnacle of motorsports in America. Like they call it the World Center of Racing. There's nothing bigger than Daytona.
No, absolutely. And Crystal Jason, I get it. It's a joint account. It's cute. I get it. Okay, so she said in the chat that that's an awesome accomplishment. Dude, I'm really impressed with how the chat's going. So it's awesome. Even on Twitter, you got a lot going on. Gary S. Ward says, more stress as an owner waiting for green flags or...
Way worse as an owner. As a driver, you're checking your fans you got to have on, turn on and off the motor to save gas, keep the water temperature down. You kind of have a systems check of what you're doing before the green flag. Of course, you're nervous and you're jittery, but it's all good. Like when you take off and they say, gentlemen, start your engine, and you start driving away, you're into full focus mode. But on the grid, just that qualifying session, I think I'm going to be a dang mess on Sunday. So it's been really cool. But to be honest with you, I think it's so much more stressful because you put so much effort into it. And as a driver, you do too. But as an owner, you can't do anything. It's out of your hands, which is a good and bad thing. I'm sure as time goes on, it'll become easier. But the first time, man, it's like, oh my gosh, like it has been, whew. But it's been cool. It's been, I wouldn't want it any other way. Good nervousness.
See, I don't know. I was talking to other people like my mom. I was telling her what's going on and stuff. So I try to keep her updated whenever I can. And I said, you understand that the pressure that Matt is under would be the same exact pressure as like if I'm trying to like take the Indians to the World Series, but it's just me. Like there's no Dolans.
Right.
It's just me. I'm preparing everything. I'm getting everything ready for spring training. So I mean, I'm watching you do a whole bunch of this stuff. And it's like I feel bad sometimes I have to talk to you about this or I have to talk to you about that or, we came down to make a bunch of videos and stuff like that. And it's like watching you how insanely busy you are. It makes me like, man, I feel bad. Do I keep blowing you up or whatever? But then you call me.
No, it's all good.
So.
It's a nice distraction, honestly. It's been so busy, but like when you first build a business or you build a house or you redecorate something or whatever project it is, maybe it's tearing down an old car.
Sure.
It's that stress, it's that annoyance, it's the pegged emotions and adrenaline of everything. Those are the best times in your life. And in the moment, sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's awesome. But I mean, Keith, you've had some restaurants, you've had the KM Voice productions, like you've had businesses yourself. People have had it with kids, and those most stressful times in your life. If it's for something that you're building or you have your passion in it for, you never forget those times. And I know I'll never forget this week, this month, this off season. Like it is unbelievable what we've been able to accomplish. And going up against, again, Michael Jordan, Pitbull, and joining the likes of and Justin Marks. He's with Pitbull in there, and he's a great dude. Right. But then going in there against Rick Hendrick, Jack Rouse, Stewart Haas Racing, these Roger Penske. I mean, the guy owns Detroit. Like these are huge, huge people that we are now joining the likes of. And Richard Childress, I mean, these are guys that have been the pioneers of the sport. And now we are starting to be that for the next generation. And that's the coolest thing for us is we know that we are making history today and tomorrow that will lead down hopefully the next 50, 60 years of NASCAR.
That's incredible. I mean, that really is. I mean, I'm not just being funny either. Like that is legitimate. It's incredible. All right, so Brian Rose says, what do you think about the road course addition to the schedule? Will BJ be driving them? Two-part question from Brian Rose. Okay,
so the road course, so NASCAR went to the road course last year. So the 24 Hours of Daytona, for those of you who don't know, it's the Rolex 24. It's one of the biggest sports car races in the world. So drivers from all different disciplines come and drive. So it's IndyCar guys, NASCAR guys, Formula One guys, sports car guys. A mix of everybody comes and does this race. With that being said, it's a deal where it's run on the inside of the track. So half of it's on the oval, half of it is on the inside. And so last year, because of COVID going on, NASCAR had some cancellations because of travel and safety. So we went down to Daytona, and it was going to be a road course race out in Sonoma, California. So they raced another road course, being that at Daytona. And so that was actually a pretty exciting race. They used it for the Clash, one of the exhibition races before the season, made some tweaks to the rules, and we had an incredible finish. The first and second place guys, Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney, they wrecked each other coming to the line. The third place car won the race, Kyle Busch. So it's been really cool to see that. And then as far as next week for sponsors and drivers and everything coming up, we'll be talking about that all next week, but I don't want to take away from everything we got going on this weekend. So we'll talk about that all next week.
For sure. Scott Seymour in the chat is recognized as a top fan. He said, "Good afternoon, Mr. Tift. I like the whole Mr. part."
That's very formal. Thank you.
That is very very, very, very specific. We put the Teespring for the merch store. We put the merch store in the comments in Facebook. We'll hit them in the comments for Twitter too, coming up here shortly. But the Teespring is in there. So hold on, the producer. What? Oh, it's in all of them. Never mind. Just joking. So that check out the Teespring, go there, get some merch, have some fun. It's all Matt Tiff stuff. You got a good following, man, and I think it's because you're such a good. You're definitely good to kind of interact with fans. Like it's nice. You treat people regularly, and I appreciate that, and I think they do too.
Well, I'm a regular guy who gets to do pretty cool stuff, so I'm just grateful to do what we're doing and building what we're doing.
Stuff. I like it. All right, so the Teespring's in there. Scott Seymour says it's all about respect. He is right about that. It's all about respect. But we did have a special show on Super Bowl Sunday, just not during the Super Bowl. I watched the Super Bowl. I'm not mad about it. I feel, and we'll get into this too, but I feel that Tom Brady he deserved it. He wins. But I think there was some questionable calls. I think there was some things that went on
Sure.
during the game. But I do want to say something for those of us who are living in Cleveland. I guess I feel personally, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel personally that the Browns would have made that a better game.
They would have, but what I will say, I think the Browns ruined Patrick Mahomes.
I think the Browns did ruin Patrick Mahomes. He was definitely limping on that leg still. That hit when he went numb, and it took like two of his teammates to hold him up. He really wasn't the same after that. He wasn't the Mahomes that we've seen, and he was playing on a bad foot. But there was also a lot. It's almost like it was working against him. I think there was a lot of questionable calls that I have an issue with, and I've had even when I was watching it, I had an issue with it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't go to a Super Bowl party, but I was still there to kind of watch and see what happens. We were doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I just feel like the Browns would have made that game a lot closer than KC did.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's interesting with that, but I know they announced before the game that he was going to have turf toe surgery after the game as well. So it's hard to tell with all that stuff what goes on. But, it's interesting when you talk about the calls and then the rules and things like that, because it's obviously such a big thing, not only in football, but baseball. But Daytona is actually one of the few tracks that NASCAR, what they can say in there as judgment calls, really makes a difference. So, Keith, you don't know this yet, but so Daytona, the bottom of the racetrack is two solid yellow lines painted there. So in every other track other than Talladega and Daytona, you can go below the line. You can go anywhere you want to. It's free range. Do whatever you want. It's not always the most conducive thing to speed, but you can try things. So in NASCAR on Daytona and Talladega, if you push a car below that double yellow line, you actually get sent to a pit drive-through penalty. Now, if you go below that yellow line to pass people, because you'll see tomorrow, the cars are 3-4 wide stacked up. There's no room. But if you go below that line to pass somebody and you're not forced below that line, you're actually penalized for improving your position. You can't give it back. You have to go to pit road to serve a penalty, which basically means it takes you out of the race. What's interesting, though, is you have a 30, 40 car packed together. So those judgment calls have to be made quickly. And typically it's trying to advance positions. So that's a judgment call in NASCAR that normally we don't really have them too much. But this is one of the few tracks that has it. On top of that, the other big thing is usually the last few laps, well, through the race too, there are big crashes. And one of the things that's happened is coming back to the checkered flag. Almost every race on these tracks, somebody wrecks when they take the white flag.
Sure.
So once they take the white flag, the next flag ends it, whether it's a yellow flag or the checkered flag. It serves as a checkered at that point. Wow. But what happens, though, is cars will wreck, and sometimes they throw the yellow, sometimes they don't. And how they judge it is if that car is blocking the racetrack and is having a safety issue, that means the other cars cannot come back to the checkered flag. So sometimes you'll have a race called in the middle of the backstretch. So whoever's leading there will not be the person leading coming back to the start-finish line, but it could be stopped on the backstretch to where that person wins it. But somebody could be planning a run to go past somebody and all of a sudden gets canceled out. So This is one of the few races, just being Daytona 500 weekend that, I'm trying to inform people about. This is one of the few races that actual officiating calls comes into play. Normally it's not a big deal, but it's one of the few races that this is actually a very sensitive time for officials because they have to be on it because those little calls can literally take away the Daytona 500 for somebody.
No kidding. Crystal in the chat says, I like that they made it unlimited tries.
Yeah, so it used to be that after you took for overtime, you took the green flag. You take the green flag. Sorry, microphone. Always an issue.
Yeah.
So you take the green flag for overtime, which means you have 2 laps. So you take 2 to go, you come back for the white flag, then you finish the race the next lap. What has happened is they were crashing a lot before, and they set attempts. It's very confusing rules. So now, again, the white flag, the next flag ends it, whether it's a wreck or the checkered flag. But if you crash with 2 to go, then you have not taken the white flag yet. The leader's not taking the white flag. If they wreck, they try it again. If they wreck before they get the white flag again, they try it again. Re-wreck. So that's kind of the cool part is before there's a set limit and it was kind of confusing. They put a line, like an imaginary line, like a first down line in the middle of the corner, and just nobody understood what was going on. So they've done a good job of like saying, okay, If you make it back to the white flag, next flag ends it. I think it's made it clear for strategy and for guys running the race to say, okay, we know where it's going to be. If we take the white flag, the next flag ends it. So it's checkers or wreckers at that point.
Wow. See, I don't know a lot of that stuff. So this is, and that's the thing too, is I told you I was going to text you tomorrow during it because but I'm going to have a lot of questions. So be prepared for after that. So be prepared.
That's fine.
Monday, you're going to get an onslaught of questions from me.
Well, we can talk about it next Thursday's show, too. I expect a list, and we will hit that full list of questions that Keith Migra has for NASCAR, because Keith Migra, now new NASCAR super fan. Keith Migra.
Right. I am now NASCAR's new super fan. And you said something that I don't think we've talked about yet. You said for the show next Thursday.
Yes, it will be next Thursday.
Why are we doing it Thursday?
Because I will be back from Disney World. We're going to Disney World.
Lucky.
And I will be back, in my hotel room here, or wherever I will be, with my green screen with me, and I'll be staying down another week of Daytona. It's Daytona this week. It's Daytona next week on the road course. So we get the month long of Florida, because the week after that we go to Homestead, Miami. So I'm a Floridian this month.
Oh my gosh. Jen Page says, get peppermints to calm your stomach. You're going to be nauseous watching and nervous for your driver.
I'll take some Pepto. I know that stuff works.
Not yet a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Pepto does work. Pepto does work, though.
It does have peppermint taste, and that's why it does.
That is true. We're probably going to be doing 2 shows a week coming up, which is going to be exciting. So you said Thursday. That's why I was kind of hinting at. We're going to be doing, as long as people stay interactive like they are now, and we keep growing, which is what we're doing, which is why we need you guys to share the page on everything possible. Just keep sharing it, spam it. Facebook will only put you in Facebook jail for 20 minutes.
That's right. Well, Keith, before we jump back into other sports stuff, because no, we don't have a lot of time, because like I said, it's going to be a 1-hour show 2 times a week. So we're trying out this format today.
Right.
I want to know, okay, put yourself in the seat here. You're in the driver's seat. You are coming off a turn 4 to the tri-oval where the start-finish line is. You are in second place. It is your teammate in front of you. Do you push them? Do you wreck them? Do you work with somebody else? What are you going to do? You're going to try to win the race? You're going to push them to make the manufacturer, the team happy? What are you doing?
I don't know. That's I wouldn't wreck him. That's my teammate. It's my boy, right? Like, you're not supposed to wreck him. Would you do that?
That's the literal several $1 million question that pops up every year.
But
what are you going to do?
Teammate, wouldn't you want your? I mean, like, isn't there? Oh, so how does this work? If you have teams racing in Daytona, but only one person can win, don't you guys have to talk about that kind of stuff?
So they strategize before the race. The general consensus is last 5 laps, all bets are off. So at the same time, if you are a Ford and you push a Chevy, well, Ford ain't going to be too happy. So you better be pushing a Ford. But if that Ford's not there and you got 2 Chevys behind you, you better be blocking the crap out of those Chevys. So that's kind of the deal, is like you have teammates, but then you have manufacturer teammates in there too, which is kind of the weird deal, because it'd be like pitchers are together, then you have against the shortstops or something like that. Like it's kind of a strange deal in that. So it's one of the most unique parts of NASCAR is that the manufacturers are so involved, because obviously they want to see their product do well. So they don't want to see a Ford push a Toyota or a Toyota push a Chevy. Like, it's very interesting. So, but the question comes down to, you're a driver. If you're going to be there and you know you can win the race, to me, I'm going to have to think in that moment that I'm going for the win. I don't know.
Well, your only thing is you're not wrong. Listen to the chat. The chat, Crystal and Jason say push him out of the way. David Morgan says go for the checkers. Scott says, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Scott said if it's Kyle Busch, he's going into the wall. And Crystal says teammates only till the last lap.
Hey, I think Crystal's got it right there, because that's kind of what we're told. But the Monday meeting sucks a lot if you just wrecked your teammate and he finished 30th when you could have both won the Daytona 500. And I think it's generally fine as long as you win it. But if you wreck him and you don't win, you guys are both in big trouble, because it will be Keith, I'm telling you, when they come to the line, it'll be 12 cars together, and anyone in the front 4 or 5 can win it. Like, you literally have no clue until the last lap of this race.
That's absolutely insane. Like in all honesty, that part is crazy. Jen Page says all for one, except when 1 to go.
I like it. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you got to think about it. Yeah, that's great. 500 miles. 500 miles. You're driving from Charlotte to Cleveland, and it comes down to literally the last 3 seconds of the race to win it.
Took me 8 hours to get there.
Yeah, and this only takes 3.5.
Yeah, but I also wasn't driving 280,000 miles an hour either with heat booties on.
Yeah, that's fair. A football field is second, guys. That's how fast this pack is going all together. All together. It is the craziest feeling in the pack of going 3-4 wide. Like it is unexplainable. Like it's nuts.
I want to know. I want to experience it, but I'm going to be playing the game too. So, and you said the prerequisites for being a NASCAR driver is just to play the game for a couple hours.
That's right. Well, again, NASCAR Heat 5, go play the game, see what you got, see if you can, learn in there. But Keith, we'll talk about it. We'll keep training you up. We'll keep coaching you up. Maybe someday.
There's no chance.
I mean, I do own the team, so I mean,
there's not a snowball's chance in hell, Matt, I'm ever getting in one of those cars. You let me sit in a car at one point in time, and I freaked out a little bit.
Slightly claustrophobic, huh?
Well, it's not just that; it's that I watched what I basically. So when I was there, you were basically going step by step with what had to happen when you're in the car and what all goes on. And man, we both know I wouldn't survive 5 minutes in that car.
I want to put you in like one of the they have school cars, like the Richard Petty school.
Yeah.
They don't let you go completely full speed, but they would let you get somewhere close. And I want to video that and see your reaction in there.
Can that happen? I would try that.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Oh yeah, no, we can set it up. That's a real thing. People do that as like the Father's Day thing or birthday thing. Like you can come down to Charlotte and do it.
Do we need to do that for the videos? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we'll do it in the summertime. Let's do it.
Oh man, you're telling me I get to drive a race car? That is that is probably the coolest thing that has ever happened out of any of the podcasts we've done. That is awesome. All right, so again, the chat room's hopping, man. You got a lot of people asking good questions. You got a lot of good followers in here. You have a lot of good people who have been basically followed your career from start to now, and your career's nowhere near over, which is super awesome. Just to kind of watch how and again, people know how we became friends already. So to kind of watch you and kind of see like what has kind of transpired, I guess, between us. So the fact that you're out there at Daytona and we started doing these things, we've had a chance to make a lot of cool things. We've done a lot of cool things together. Including the movie that we shot. We're filming a little mini web series eventually that people will be able to have a chance to see and stuff. So we've done a lot of cool stuff. But how can they find you on social media outside of this? I mean, your Twitter, follow you on Twitter. Follow me at Keith Miger1. Follow the show. We've got a lot of stuff coming up and a lot of stuff going on that they don't get. Like, these people get a chance to hear you and meet you and see you outside of being an owner or outside of being a driver.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit of education is cool that you are giving them about certain things. You turn me into a NASCAR fan. If you turn me into a NASCAR fan, you can turn anybody into a NASCAR fan.
I've turned you into a fan. You haven't even watched a race yet.
I haven't, but it was. I think it was the hanging out, like the you explained, because again, I'm one of those people. Yes, I made fun of NASCAR. I make fun of baseball though too. I make fun of baseball,
right?
Football. But you do it wholeheartedly. Not wholeheartedly. You don't really mean anything.
Sure.
But then when it comes down to it, and you see like, go make a left turn, Yeah. Go ahead, go make a left turn in the car that I sat in, and tell me that you can do that at a football field per second. Go make that left turn.
And 145 degrees too.
Oh, and yeah, don't forget the 145. Yeah, dude, I would be sweating so bad. People.
Oh, and by the way, somebody's hitting you from the back, pushing you while you have 3 cars above you, and you have to stay inbounds the whole time too.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I don't want it to. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't. There will never ever be a time where Matt looks at me and goes, "Okay, you've literally beat NASCAR Heat on."
Ooh, Keith, I got another one for you. Another education piece for the Daytona 500.
I like it.
Okay. So you come off at turn 4, green flag pit stop to go get fuel and tires. There's going to be caution flags where you come and get tires and fuel, but they also do it under green flag. So you literally get the call on coming out of turn 4 to come to the pits with other cars. So not only are you pitting for yourself, but you have to pit with other people. So you have 4 or 5, sometimes 15 people. They have to come off of the banking, 33 degrees of banking, 3 stories tall, to a completely flat as a pancake banking, and slow the car down from 200 miles per hour with other cars, downshifting, hitting the brakes, down to 55 miles an hour. And by the way, if you screwed up, you're going to lose the draft or you get a penalty, and then you have to hit your marks, keep it at a certain speed the entire time. By the way, we don't have speedometers in the car, so you have to look at your RPMs.
Yeah, see, I don't even know. Like, I don't think I could judge off of an RPM, just to let you know. I mean, I don't have the training for it, obviously, but like, I know what 100 miles an hour says on a speedometer. What the hell?
Right.
How am I supposed to look at my RPMs? Like, what do you? I'm not.
So you have a digital dashboard, and you have the lights on there that show the RPMs, and then you have it light up to where you have all green lights, and then you have yellow and red. So typically you have it set up to where yellow is close to speeding, red, you want like one red to show you're at speed. But if you go above it, you have to slow back down. So there's like 14 or 15 timing segments down pit road. So if you speed, obviously it's an advantage over the competition. So they set a real speed limit, except for you don't have a speedometer. And oh, by the way, you have people coming out of their pits, and then you have to go into your pit. So you have to literally parallel park without ever hitting reverse in there with 15 or 20 other cars at the same time as you. Then you peel back on the racetrack and go draft with them, bump draft them, and have them hit you. And then the other half of the field comes down the next time. So 5 or 6 laps later, the two packs merge together, where you have a 40-car pack that merges. And that's not pretty sometimes.
No, it doesn't sound pretty. It doesn't sound pretty at all. It is 4:01. We're going to take our last break. We'll go to 4:15. I actually have a read I have to do for a TV show, so we're gonna make it about an hour.
Big time.
50, yeah, right. About an hour and 15 minutes. We'll talk about that. But guys, check out the Teespring. Check out the Patreon. Grab some of our merch. Rep the merch. Live life in the fast lane with our merch. Check it out. Rep it. It's a good time, good gifts, all that stuff. If you're one of the cult following of Matt Tifft, you're gonna want to get the merch now. So check us out on Teespring. When we come back, I think we're gonna jump into a couple things. I don't know. You've had a lot of chat interaction. We've let the people kind of dictate where the show is going, and I don't hate it. I think it's a good.
No,
I like it.
And you know what the great thing about it is? We're talking again on Thursday.
We are talking again on Thursday. I like it. All right, guys, let's take our last break. We'll be right back. While we're on break, check out the Teespring, check out the Patreon, share the hell out of the page, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And don't forget, last thing, we're giving out one more code, so don't forget it.
One more code, share. Maybe that's what we'll do. I'll figure out who shared it the most, and that's how
I like it.
Yeah. So however many times you share the page, we'll kind of dictate who gets the
annoy your friends. Share the crap out of it.
That's right. Who gets the if you're on Twitter, tweet it. If you're on Facebook, share it, and then I'll decide how we're gonna do it. All right, we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt with Matt Tieft. How you like that? With Matt Tieft, the newest NASCAR. No, I'm just kidding. With Matt Tift and myself, we had a lot going on. A lot of people have shared it. A lot of people have. John Weathers said he shared it. You obviously commented in there. If you shared it, comment in the thing. So I'm gonna pick. I gotta say, John Weathers. He said shared it twice. I love the show, man. I met you in Dover a few years ago, and you were a super nice guy. Keep being so awesome, says John. All right, John, let us know if you want the code. Crystal says, I'd love to play Heat 5. I was just talking about it the other day. There we go. Look at that. You got top fans sharing it. You got a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, I like it. You know what? Well, did we pick? Is that who's winning it, John?
Yeah, let's see if he wants it. If he had, because I don't know if you got to try to see people who play Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Xbox
Okay. Well, Crystal there, is she playing Xbox? We can give away the next one.
She says, I'd love to play Heat 5. I was just talking about it the other day. Little smiley face with the crying things tilted to the side.
All right. Well, Crystal, I'm going to shoot you a code too. You know what we will have you guys do is on the Matt Tift Facebook page or the Matt Tift Twitter page here, shoot me a DM if you have won the code, and I will send it over to you after the show.
That is awesome. I wish I would have gotten a code, but that's okay.
Well, sometimes, Keith, you can't have everything that you want.
That is true. That is true. I want a lot of
I think even the Rolling Stones wrote a song about that. That very concept.
And Crystal says they both do. I don't know. It's a joint account, so I don't want to say just her, but her name's first. So it could be Jason talking. I don't know. But we're just going to say Crystal Jason plays Xbox, so they're happy. Look at that. You got a code.
By the way, real quick, guys, if you did not win a code, Xbox Free Play Weekend ends tomorrow on Sunday. So you can try the game out for free on the Xbox Marketplace this weekend. Download NASCAR Heat 5. Make sure y'all do that and have some fun. Do your own little Daytona 500 mini one.
Just to let you know, 704 Games, NASCAR Heat just joined the stream. The official Twitter of @NASCAR Heat. So it's good to have them in here, and it's good to be good to be promoting them on the show because it's awesome. And I will play NASCAR Heat, just so they know.
I know you will. I mean, sometimes we can't get a hold of Keith because he's playing too much Xbox. So we're going to send him. I might even send him. No, I'm going to make him pay for it. Yeah, we're going to make him pay for it.
You're going to make me pay for it. I want to, but the only thing is, I want an Xbox. I thought I was getting one. I never got.
We'll work on it, buddy. We'll work on it.
I am extremely happy that NASCAR Heat is in here though, because they have sponsored you to get you in here, and I think that's awesome. So to have them in the stream kind of talking about it and kind of showing – basically they're showing you some love at this point, and I'm extremely excited to have them a part of the broadcast. So,
well, it's a big weekend. Cool. So they had their Winter Heat Series yesterday, I believe. So they've had their Esports Pro League going on. So they had a big day with that. We got, obviously, the Daytona 500 tomorrow. It's been a big week. I mean, it's been a lot of stuff this week.
It has been. There absolutely has been a lot of stuff. And the thing is as the show grows, comment if you got anything from Teespring. Let us know what you got. We like to see the kind of stuff. So if you went over to the Teespring to the merch store and bought something, comment in the comments and let us know what you got. I like doing that too, so that's cool. But yeah, we did a lot of stuff, and you have a lot of stuff going on. But as the show grows, as we go, this month has been absolutely insane. Just because we were down there watching you get ready. And now you're down in Daytona trying to make sure everything runs smooth. So we're basically trying to get everything, basically keep everything on track with the show, which is why we're doing pre-records on different days and stuff like that, so people can still have a chance to interact with us and hang out with us. So, I mean, that works, right?
Yep. Well, and the good thing, too, is pretty soon here, we're getting back to a regular schedule. But as Keith mentioned, moving on with the show, we're going to be going to 1 hour shows 2 times a week to get even more people engaged. We can't catch one show and catch the other. Right. We are on all the streaming platforms now, so make sure you go hit us up and watch on or listen to any of your favorite streaming platforms there, Life in the Fastlane Show. Please make sure you give us a 5-star review and a comment. Go on Keith's personal page and beat him up if you don't like the show, but on the streaming platforms, give us a review there.
Follow me at KeithMiger1 and yell at me if you don't like the show. I get it a lot. Check me out on Facebook. Same thing, Keith Miger on Facebook. I don't mind. It's my personal account, but we have fun with it. But we will be back for the next show. It's already 4:12. Dude, we had a lot of fan interaction. We basically let the fans take control of the show. And I think that's the direction we want to go because a lot of people don't get to talk to their favorite athlete or whatever, and you're talking directly to the fans. So I think that is what makes it so. I think that's what makes this show so unique. And as we keep growing, we will talk about different things and give our take on stuff. But it was great to have NASCAR Heat in here, the actual official Twitter. So hopefully I'll give them a follow. They follow me. I don't know. We'll see. But I did get NASCAR Heat for the mobile from.
There you go. Hey, that's great.
Well, I told you I had prerequisites. I played the hell out of it.
Oh, and there goes the green screen. We did it.
It finally fell. We had 1 minute left of the show. 1 minute left.
Yes.
You couldn't get it for 1 minute.
No. Oh, well. Whatever. Blue. Tell bar.
Just leave it.
You know
guys,
what?
Check us out. Follow us at Matt_Tift on Twitter. Follow me at KeithMyGirl1. And we'll keep you updated with the stuff we're doing, with everything that's going on. As the show grows, you grow. Check out the Patreon. Check out the merch store on Teespring that's in the comments on Facebook, also in the comments on Twitter. Share the page even when we're done. It helps us grow. It helps me and Matt be able to do more stuff. And we'll be able to have a lot more interaction as the show grows. So Matt is now completely illuminated.
What am I?
I couldn't see you.
What?
You got people laughing, though. Crystal Jason is laughing. That's that little tilted emoji crying face thing. So
I'm just putting it behind my head now. So, Keith, there's a saying in racing, and this is very true for the Daytona 500. It's bring back the steering wheel or the trophy. I mean, you wreck that thing, you come back with the trophy. So today, we had the green screen comes down to the last lap. So tomorrow, we'll get the trophy.
Oh, my God. All right, man. We'll be back, Tuesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
We'll be back Thursday. We doing nighttime? What are we doing? We doing a daytime?
Well, we'll probably go back to the normal slotted time of 7 to 8 o'clock or something like that. It'll just be a 1 hour show. So, guys, make sure you share the page and send things you want to hear us talk about, too, because we'll be recapping the Daytona 500. Keith is going to be blown away by this thing, and he probably won't shut up asking questions. So, it'll be great.
Correct. You are 100% correct. So, even if you're not a NASCAR fan and you're watching, this is a chance to get educated with it in a sense that you might find something you do like about it. I found out a lot of things about it that I do like. So we will jump into it next Thursday. You guys have fun. Good luck, Matt, tomorrow. I will not talk to you during Daytona just because I'm superstitious.
You can talk to me. I don't care. It's fine.
I know, but I'm superstitious, man. I don't think I want to jinx it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I could have been talking to like Tito during the World Series. I don't think I could have been doing that.
That's the funny thing about NASCAR is people talk literally up to the point you jump in the car. So I'm kind of used to it. But anyways, you guys, make sure you watch for the NASCAR Heat 5 Motorsport Games, number 78 Ford Mustang. It's bright blue. The thing looks sweet on track and on TV. Sure, you're not going to miss it. So hopefully we'll be coming down to the line to go win the 500 tomorrow.
Absolutely. David Morgan says Daytona is awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Crystal Jason says they can't wait till the next show on Thursday. We will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next Thursday, guys.
See ya.